Hey guys, how you doing today? Frost here for Guardian TV. Anyway, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I don't do top fives, but today I feel inspired to do it after reading a lot of what I consider some pretty good intelligence having to do with Generation 3 for Pokemon Go, when it's coming out, why it's coming out, and so on. But first thing I want to say, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like this. I want to try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I think we can do it. We're trying to do a lot of events. We're trying to get everything going, and we got to get that subscriber up. You know, compete out there with the big boys. And I'm sure you all know who they are. They're all very good in their own right, but we're trying to compete with them just as much. Anyway, so what we want to do today is we're going to give the top 5 of my personal most anticipated, and I think the best Generation 3 Pokemon that are going to be coming to a lineup near you. I know what people are saying, one generation per year. Personally, I think that's complete malarkey, and I think you're going to be seeing it somewhere around fall time from everything that I know. Again, you never know with Pokemon Go and Niantic Labs. They like to just kind of drop, hell, they could come out next week. It wouldn't be the first time they've just dropped something on everybody when they didn't even think it was going to happen. So I want to get into my personal top 5. Now, number 1, now if you like tanks, depending on the moveset, then this little sucker is for you. Swampert. Now, yes, I know I might be murdering the names. Also, I want to say something else. A lot of the CPs out there that have these things ranked, they're not going to be like that when they get into Pokemon Go. It would be ridiculous and overpowered, so just keep that in mind. All this stuff can change when it comes to their attacks, defenses, HP, CP, and all that. So, anyway, now, if you like tanks, as I was saying, then Swampert's your guy. His defense could be a bit better, but either way, he gets the job done. Now, you can expect his CP to be under that 3K mark for sure, but he's a pretty balanced pocket monster out there, and he'll get the job done for those who have a difficult time, you know, finding those super rares. He will get the job done for you. And he's just funny looking. And he also has his own evolution, so that'll also be involved in Generation 3. Now, anybody who doesn't know a lot about Generation 3, before I completely go off topic, as I always wonderfully do, it was kind of a little bit different with the Generation 3s. There aren't very many, actually, I don't think there are any, that from the Generation 2s that are going to evolve into Generation 3s. Going off the top of my head, if anybody out there would like to correct me, by all means, go ahead. I'm pretty sure, it's been a while since I looked at Generation 3s, but if I can remember correctly, I do not believe there's any Generation 2s that are going to evolve from Generation 3. There might be like new babies that will evolve into Generation 2s. I know there's that. That's my number 5 on the list. Feel free to argue that one. I know a lot of people are going to. Number 4, I love this guy. Number 4 is a cross between a rhino and a garbage disposal that's built like a brick shithouse. He's got the highest defensive ranking on this list, and is I think the highest in Generation 3 as a whole. It's Aragon. I love this guy. His CP might hit 3K, depending on who you ask, a little over 3K, possibly. His major downfall is his lackluster attack stats, so he'll be a Generation 3 gym defender for sure. If you don't already have a Blissey, he's definitely going to be your guy to go to. Just to put it into perspective, from Generation 1, 2, and 3, the defensive ratings for the top 3 altogether, like number 1 is Blissey, bar none. He's a 5'10". Aragon's a 314, and Snorlax is a 310. So yeah, brick shithouse for sure. So you can kind of see what I mean when I say with Blissey is ridiculously overpowered when it comes to being a gym defender. I mean, nobody's even close to him. So, all right, number 3. This is one of my personal favorites. I love this guy. Can't wait to get him. Metagross. Oh, and before I go on, I left the legendaries out for a reason of obvious nature, because they're not going to be out during release. Hell, you probably won't see them till 2019 for all we know. Anyway, number 3, Metagross. Who the hell doesn't want a giant metal spider fighting for them? I mean, I welcome Metagross. He's probably the most balanced on this list. He's got a very good attack, defense. He's a steel psychic Pokemon on top of all that. CP-wise, expect him to be in the 3,500 range, maxed out, but either way, he'll definitely be in everyone's battle lineup. I assume that his rarity is going to be kind of up there, you know, with the Aerodactyl and Snorlax type of situation, so he's going to be a little bit difficult to find, but he'll be there. Most likely he'll also be in like 10-kilometer eggs and so on, but either way. Now, number 2 on my list, I know I'm going to hear crap about this, and I really don't care, but because I love this guy. Salamence. Now, I know I have him number 2. Some people are going to tell me that he should have been lower, but oh well. It's my list, not yours. So my number 2 on the list is what I like to call the big brother for Charizard. I'm sure somebody out there is going to tell me I'm wrong, but that's what I think. Anyway, this flying, fire-breathing barbecue has a nasty attack like most of the guys on this list, but he's also got one of the worst defensive ratings on this list. I mean, it's just trash. Again, it reminds me of Charizard. Looks awesome, good attack, but can be taken down with a straw and a spitball. So, I mean, it's not going to be defending anything out there. It will be doing awesome attack damage. It will definitely be a huge attack attacker out there. Just don't even think about putting him up for defense. Not a chance in this planet. Alright, so that brings me to my number 1. My number 1 on this list. Maybe, I swear, I should have done 10. Anyway, my number 1, and we're going to talk a little bit about this guy, if you haven't already figured out who he is. Now, my top guy on this list he's the laziest on the list, too. He's the male version of Mama June, and I have to give you Slacking. He's got a knockout of the park CP. He's the guy who's got, if you look anywhere, he's got a rating of over 5,000 CP. Now, that is going to be nerfed to fit in with Pokemon Go because it makes no sense, especially because the reason he's got such a high CP is also his major downfall, which is his ability, which makes him be able to, he can only basically swing once per 2 turns. Now, since Pokemon Go does not have those abilities in it, they're going to have to kind of fix it to make it make sense. So that's his basic problem. So his biggest stat, which is always going to be his CP, so he's probably going to have the highest CP out there, most likely, but they're going to put it in line with other things, mainly because they can't have that type of, you can't throw a 5K out there. You just can't. It doesn't make any sense. It's also, his ability is his biggest handicap, so they're going to have to kind of nerf everything to make it fit nicely in with all the other Pokemon out there, because everything else, it just won't make any sense. Unless they add some sort of a mechanic in there to where you can only swing, it's just, no, I don't see them doing it. So, I mean, it's still my favorite out there. I love this guy. He just reminds me of that old uncle of yours that just kind of comes over for Thanksgiving dinner and plops down on the couch and doesn't move until it's dinner time. I mean, that's basically Slacking, and that's what cracks me up about him. He's got a devastating attack. He really does. He's got the highest attack on this list for obvious reasons, but his defense is flat sucks. I mean, there's nothing else really to say about it. His HP's decent, but he's a fighting type. Like, that's my favorite thing about him. He's a fighting type, normal Pokemon, so he kind of helps you out in a lot of those instances where you've been trying to get a good ground, to go up against some of these elementals. So he's definitely your guy. Now, again, you never know. Who knows with this list? They might change things around and make certain things. Now, again, I left the legendaries out for obvious reasons, because most likely, actually, I'm not going to say most likely, definitely they will not be in the initial release for Generation 3. There is no way on Earth, because it's never happened. Hell, we haven't gotten the legendaries for Generation 1 yet. So let's not even joke and even speculate to see that Generation 3 will be out when Generation 3 is released. It's not going to happen. We will probably see Megas before we see legendaries get released. I mean, we've seen a shiny released and not a legendary. So, I mean, it's one of those things that you're going to have to wait for. So I made my list based on non-legendaries. Okay, now, please, by all means, in the comments, tell me what you want to see, what you can't wait to see. I'm pretty curious on it myself. I want to know what you can't wait to see from Generation 3, or even anything else that you want to see. Let me know out there so, we can all get it done. Also, keep in mind, we're going to be doing a lot of what we want to start doing is viewer interaction type videos, where you give us the topics, we make the videos, and so on. So leave your comments about that inside. I was going to do another word scramble for this video, but I decided against it because nobody got the last one right. Or the one before that. Somebody got the first one right, but they never answered back on the comment, so I couldn't get back to them. I commented back to him, I think 2 or 3 times, but he never answered. I don't know. So, I mean, maybe in the next video we'll do it. We're trying to do all types of different things. We're trying to grow the channel, grow everything. Don't forget to check us out on our social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget Facebook. How can you forget any of those? Well, okay. We're trying to, again, we're trying to come up with different ideas or things different do that other people have not done, like our own personal live events. If I had my way, that's what I would be doing tomorrow, is our own live events. Unfortunately, life-wise, family-wise, financially mainly, we are unable to do that right now, but we are trying to work. That's one of the things we're trying to work towards. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell all your friends, aunts, uncles, mothers, cousins, dogs, gerbils, and squirrels to subscribe. Anyway, all right, guys, I will catch you next time.